Well, if we look at the tyre degradation editor here in RaceWatch, then what you can see is Max is the purple line. This is for the hard tyre. So we've got like-for-like comparison, and Lewis is the cyan, or the blue line there.
Very technical. Yes,
very technical indeed. You can see that Max is, if we look at the mid-stint pace down here, then Max is around about 7/10 quicker over that whole stint. So he's about 7/10 a lap quicker. Now, crucially, if we looked at this last week, as we did, we saw that Lewis was around about 3/10 quicker. So the swing from week to week has been around about a second in favour of the Red Bull, which is huge.
And what do you put that pace down to then?
Well, it can only be tyre management. We've got the same track, same drivers, same car 1 week later. So, there's something going on with the tyres. If we look at the medium tyres here, then you can see the blisters appearing on both Mercedes. These are, they're around about 11 laps old, something like that. Max is a younger tyre, and it's around about 6 laps old, but you would still be seeing the blisters appearing at that point, and there aren't any blisters. If we then go on and we look at the hard tyres, then you've got Valtteri here. He's got a clear line of blisters on that inside shoulder with the camber in those high-speed corners, but more crucially, where the performance comes from, he's got blisters on the rears as well. So both the medium and the hard for Valtteri, he's got blisters. Exactly the same thing if we look at Lewis. Again, he's got that line of blisters on the inside shoulder where you drag that inside tyre round cops. But again, more crucially, the performance, you can see these dark marks appearing, and they are where the tyre gets so hot that effectively it kind of has these mini explosions inside the tyre, you lose grip. So they've kind of turned to chewing gum at that point. There's not much grip for the Merc cars.
Well, of course, this then led to the following pit strategies playing out.
Yeah, so if you look, Mercedes at that point have really tried almost everything. They started on the medium, whereas Max started on the hard. Max does this very short stint in the middle of the race. Lewis runs on, long with the hard. Valtteri tries a slightly shorter stint on that hard, and basically nothing worked, because it all comes back down to what we looked at the top of this piece, which was the car pace itself. That's the dominant factor here. Strategy at that point becomes neither one way or the other. So
why are Mercedes so bad on the tyres at the moment then?
Well, I think the better question to ask is, why are Red Bull so good? If we look prior to the weekend, because of the tyre failures that we'd had at the British Grand Prix, Pirelli then took a cautious approach of increasing the minimum pressures by 2 psi on the front and 1 psi on the rear. And that's the right approach. They've already had some failures, and from a safety aspect, the increased pressure is always going to help. But we've seen it time and time again that Red Bull are just able to get their running pressures. It's the running pressures, not the minimum pressures, that we're interested in. And those running pressures that Red Bull are able to have on their car in exactly the same conditions, same track conditions or same track or whatever, as other cars is really impressive. So they're really able to manage those rear tyres.